Hi everyone, it's Debbie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm a reseller. I've been reselling for 17 and a half years and I absolutely love it. And today I have a what sold video for you. I'm going to share some of the items that I sold last week, which was January 16th, which was my mother's 75th birthday. So Mom, if you're watching, happy birthday again. Through the 22nd, 2022. I sold a total of 26 items for a gross amount of $698.96. And if you want the complete breakdown of all of my numbers, stick around till the end and I will have all of that for you. Before we start, I have to give a special thank you to Joy Carr. She bought me a coffee, and if you don't know what that is, it's a website where you can buy a coffee as a way to support the channel. And so I hadn't ever advertised that I signed up for that. I just put it in my description link below. So I was so surprised when I got a notification. So thank you so much, Joy. That absolutely made my day. And I thought it was so neat that you were visiting your son in Allen, Texas and thrifting in Plano, because one of my favorite thrift hauls ever was when we went and visited a friend of my husband's in Allen, Texas, and we went thrifting in Plano, and it was a great thrift haul, some of the best prices. So I hope you did really well and found some great treasures. So thank you so much again. I was so excited when I saw that and the message from you. We will first start on Poshmark. I had the highest gross sales on Poshmark. I sold 13 items for $380. The first was a bundle, and the first item in the bundle was a Bath & Body Works robe, size large, extra large. And I put on there plush, fluffy, soft, comfy, cozy, white, belted. And inside the description, I also put that it had pockets. I picked this bathrobe up because in years past, I've gone to Bath & Body Works after Christmas when they're having a huge markdown, and sometimes they will have these baskets that they sold at Christmas time marked down so low. I think it was January 1st one year that I went and bought several baskets, and one basket had this big white plush robe and slippers and all kinds of different items in it, and it was originally like $150 and I got it for like $29.99. And I realized that I could part it out and sell everything separately for a lot more money than selling the entire basket. So that's what I did. And I was photographing the robe and the slippers. And my son Jason was probably 8 or 9 years old, and he fell in love with that robe and slippers, and he wanted it so bad. So although they would have sold for a really good amount, he just loved them so much. So I let him keep them, and he wore them all over the house and just loved that robe and slippers. So when I saw it at the bins, I was like, oh, I remember these sold really well. And I was just on my way out. I didn't look up comps or anything. I grabbed it, and I'm glad I did because it sold really quickly. It sold for $32. My earnings were $25.60. I paid just $2.50 at the Goodwill bins or the Goodwill Outlet Center, and it took just 15 days to sell. My profit was $23.10. And what I did on this bundle, the bundle sold for $48. The first item I assigned $32 and the second item $16. And the second item in that bundle was the Sunday's Abigail Bandeau Bikini Top Black, size 34 double D. I assigned a value of $16 because that's probably about what it would have sold for. My earnings were $12.80. I paid just $1 on my great swimsuit deal. That one has been listed for almost 4 months, and my profit was $11.80. The next item was another bins pickup. This was the UGG Australia Women's 1873 Bailey Button Triplet Black Suede Sheepskin Boots in size 10. I put on there that they were authentic, that they had the holographic sun logo inside the boot, and then I did take a picture of it also. I put that it was pre-owned, that there was wear and marks, that there were tiny tears on the exterior. I also included a positive. Whenever I give a negative, I try to give a positive also. I said the inside is so soft and plush. It was. The inside was perfect. It was really nice, and it is in excellent condition. These were kind of dirty. I picked them up at the bins though, and I wasn't scared to pick them up because I showed in another video the UGG cleaning kit that I got. Wow, it does a great job. I'm a huge fan of it, and now I want to pick up dirty Uggs just to see if I can get them really clean. I have the UGG kit linked in the description below. It's really good. I've cleaned several pairs of shoes with it now, and I'm very impressed. These sold for $50. My earnings were $40. I paid just $2.50 at the Goodwill bins, and they took just 6 days to sell. My profit was $37.50. I was really happy with how quickly they sold and that they had a few flaws, and they still sold at a great price very quickly. The next one was another pair of shoes from the bins. This was the Steve Madden women's trusty slouch mid-calf leather boots in size 10 and brown. They sold for $35. My earnings were $28. I paid just $2.50 at the Goodwill bins. They took just 9 days to sell, and my profit was $25.50. I love selling shoes. Next one, I was thrilled when it sold. This was from my dry cleaning haul where I picked up 3 wedding dresses. So now 2 of the 3 wedding dresses have sold. This was a Sweetheart Gowns wedding dress. There was no size, so I just provided measurements. I tried it on. That way I could give a little bit of a reference to fit by how it fit on me. And I also showed it on my size 6 mannequin. So I put on there that there was no size, but I tried it on and it fit like it was probably a 4 or 6 on me. It sold for $120. My earnings were $88.55. I paid just $25 at the dry cleaners 4 months ago, and my profit was $63.55. I did put on the listing that a few beads were missing and that there was a small rip in the train. So always, if you have flaws, just disclose them, and if it's a desirable enough item, it will still sell. Maybe sometimes a little bit less, but I have found it doesn't keep things from selling if they have a good sell-through rate. Then a lot of the other items that I sold on Poshmark were liquidation items. Poshmark was really actually very slow this past week. Only 13 sales in a week is pretty low for me. But luckily I had a couple that sold for a pretty good amount, so that helped a lot. One of the items that I don't think I have shared that's a liquidation item was the New With Tags Free People Easy Does It half slip skirt. It sold for $22. My earnings were $17.60. I paid $8.81 and my profit was $8.79. It took a little over 1 year for all of these to sell out, and I thought I would give you the totals on that since they're sold out now. I purchased 6 of them for $8.81 each, so I invested a total amount of $52.86. I had gross sales of $159. I got back $125.42, so I made a profit of $72.56 on those skirts. Probably took me 15 minutes max to photograph them, list them, any kind of customer service, maybe 15 minutes to ship, so 30 minutes invested to make $72.56, which means that I was working at about $145.12 an hour on those skirts. So I am very happy with that. And any of my liquidation, if I say liquidation, it came from Fox Liquidation. It's the only liquidation place I have ever purchased from. Love them. I have a discount code. I'll pop it up. If you are looking for a liquidation place, I can tell you I've been extremely happy with them. I ordered from them before I was on YouTube. They're just a wonderful, good company. Next, we will move to eBay. I sold 12 items, so one less item than I sold on Poshmark for a gross amount of $299.72. The first one was the vintage Norlander Norway pure wool sweater. I put Nordic cream brown. I estimated that it was the size large. There was no tag on it, so I put it on my mannequin, kind of saw how it fit on that, took measurements, and I estimated that it was about a size large. This item sold previously to an international buyer, and we had communicated back and forth. She couldn't figure out how to do payment, so I had to cancel it, but I thought, that's okay, it will sell again. It did for more money. It sold for $57.04. My earnings were $34.78. I paid $6.19 at the regular Goodwill. It took 50 days to sell, and my profit was $28.59. And I put on there a positive that this is a gorgeous sweater, and then I also gave the flaws that it did have a few areas that had kind of indentations on the fabric, like not quite holes, but they were definitely indented, so I wanted to point that out. I also said there was one area that had a little bit of a dark spot, and please see the photos and the close-up, because I want to always make sure that the person is aware if there is any type of wear or flaw on the fabric, and it was still purchased twice. The next one, I I had just talked about in a video, and I said that I had listed a Life is Good hoodie, and it sold like that. I was so excited. It was the Life is Good dot logo blue men's hoodie, full zip up jacket sweatshirt, relaxed fit, size extra, extra large. It was so nice and soft, excellent condition. And what I did when I was listing that one was I found similar sold comps, sorted them from highest to lowest, took the highest selling one, looked at their listing, took some of their keywords. They had put dot logo on there. I didn't know to put dot logo, but I saw they did, and mine had a dot logo, so I thought that might be something important. So I always try to take a really good sold comp and model my listing after theirs, because they might have some keywords or information in their listing that is beneficial. It sold for $39.15. My earnings were $24.90. I paid just $1.42 at the Goodwill bins and only took 4 days to sell. My profit was $23.48. The next one was another pair of shoes from the Goodwill bins. And I say Goodwill bins, it's actually called the Goodwill Outlet Center. And you can Google Goodwill Outlet Center to see if you have one in your area or the closest one to you. These were the Dan Post Western boots, black, red, ostrich, leather, men's size 7.5. These were pretty cracked and dry, and they were a men's size 7.5, which is really small. But I know Dan Post has sold so well for me in the past for a lot of money, and I've had them flawed before and they still sell. So I thought for $2.50, I'm going to take these home, I'm going to condition them and see if they'll still sell. So I took them, and I've shown in some of my other videos, I love using the bear grease, and I have that link down below. And I just slathered it with bear grease, put them in a warm area. So I have a little space heater, so I put it a little ways away from it, and I just kept them warm for a little bit and let that bear grease really soak into that dry leather, and it worked so well. And then after it sat for a couple days, I wiped it off, but not completely. I left a little bit on there to keep conditioning it, and it improved the leather so much. I love that stuff. So it did take a little time to sell. Not much though, 5 months and 22 days. They sold for $66.89. My earnings were $51.05. I paid just $2.50 at the Goodwill bins, so my profit was $48.55. So I think that's excellent. And the work that I did on them, smearing that bear grease all over them, it really wasn't that much work. I probably spent 5 to 10 minutes on them, so well worth it. The next one was another Goodwill bins pickup. This was the New with Tags Roundtree in York, which is a Dillard's House brand. Big and tall sweater vest, size 3XT. I also put 3X and then tall and 3XLT. So I try to put it in all the different formats they might be able to locate it. It sold for $23.53. My earnings were $12.35. I paid just 98 cents at the Goodwill bins, and it only took 1.5 months after cross-listing it. I had this on Poshmark for probably a year and a half and not a lot of activity, but I was confident being that big and tall size and new with tags and being a sweater vest, I thought it would go, but it just sat on Poshmark. So finally I decided to cross list it. I did, and 1.5 months later it sold, and my profit was $11.37. The other items that I sold were 8 liquidation items that were Free People Intimates, and each of those were only around $15 sales each. But I made like $5 or $6 profit on each of those. There were multiple quantities, so very little time invested. So I love getting those sales. And then I sold 1 swimsuit. Then I had an Amazon sale again. I hadn't had very many, and then a couple weeks ago I had 2, and now I just had another one. I sold 1 item for $19.24. It was the Webster's 7th New Collegiate Dictionary. It has a copyright of 1967. It also, on the inside, it has some writing, but I just noted that in the listing. It has the tabs. So I love listing things like that, and you always want to pay attention to the binding. The binding is good. So I'm going to put it in a plastic protective covering. Then I'm going to use a recycled Amazon bag to pack it in, and then a Amazon recycled box to ship it in. The book alone weighs 3 pounds. The packaging adds almost another pound, so it will still be under 4 pounds.
Finally home. I've been gone for too long. Standing here a while just to take it all in. Radio's
It's going USPS bound printed material, and it's not the most beautiful box, but it is well protected and the contents will get there safely. That book sold for $19.24. My earnings were $8.88. I paid just 50 cents at the Friends of the Library book sale, and my profit was $8.38. And that's not very much, but Amazon listings are so fast. Amazon listing maybe takes 1 minute or 2 minutes. So I think that's great. And I thought I would let you know, it was really interesting. I asked last week where more people fell, if they were more for the fast nickel or the slow dime. And as of the day that I am editing this video, 70% of the people that responded said they go for the fast nickel, 15% slow dime, and 15% both. I have always been the slow dime. I always thought, I want the top dollar, I will get it, I don't mind if I have to wait, but things have kind of changed through the years, and I'm learning that I need to kind of have some balance in that, and so I'm letting things go sometimes for a lower amount to let them sell quickly, but if it has an excellent sell-through rate and I know I can get more money, I will hold out. So thank you if you answered on that. That was interesting to me. Now to look at the totals for the week, I sold 26 items for a gross amount of $698.96. Money back in the bank after any postage or platform fees was $504.21. My cost of goods was $107.24. I had no refunds this week, yay! And my profit was $396.97. So my profit was 56.79% of my gross sales, which I'm really good with that. I think that's a good amount. On Poshmark, I sold 13 items for $380. After fees, I received back in the bank $287.05. My cost of goods was $75 and my profit was $212.05. eBay, I sold 12 items for a gross amount of $299.72. After fees and postage, I received back $208.28. My cost of goods was only $31.74 and my profit was $176.54. And then on Amazon, just the one item for $19.24. No Facebook Marketplace this week and no Mercari this week. I was surprised by that. Usually I have a couple on Mercari. If I look at where my items came from, out of the 26 items, 13 came from liquidation. So those were all from Fox Liquidation. 10 were thrifted and 3 were retail arbitrage. So that is everything that I have for you today. Enjoyed this video and wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it so much. And if you're new and haven't subscribed yet, I would love to have you back. Just hit the subscribe button down below. And if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos. And if you think you're subscribed, you might check and see if it shows that you're subscribed. I've had a couple people lately tell me that they were subscribed and all of a sudden they saw that they weren't subscribed and they don't know how it happened. So you might check if you think you're subscribed, check and see if you really are. Thank you so much for watching, and everybody have a great day. Bye.